You're lying in bed. The lights are off. The house is quiet. Then you hear it. A creak downstairs. Your heart slams against your ribs. Your hands go cold. There's no lion in your hallway. You know this. Your brain does not. You assume this reaction is about the noise. It is not. The real answer is far stranger. Somewhere inside your skull, a tiny cluster of cells called the amygdala is running a program at least 200,000 years old. Its only job is to scan for danger and scream, threat, before your conscious mind can even ask a question. Why does it still do this? In a locked house, with help 3 minutes away. Picture early humans on the grasslands of East Africa. A strange sound in the dark was not usually nothing. Sometimes it was wind, sometimes it was a leopard, and the cost of being wrong was never equal. Hear a rustle, assume nothing, and you're right, you lose nothing. Hear a rustle, assume nothing, and you're wrong, you might not wake up. Hear a rustle, assume danger, and you're wrong. You waste a minute of adrenaline. Mildly annoying, survivable. So which mistake does evolution favor? The researcher Randolph Ness called this the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector screams at burnt toast because a false alarm costs almost nothing, but missing a real fire costs everything. Nessie argued human anxiety works the same way. Your brain isn't tuned for accuracy, it's tuned for survival. That single setting is still running inside you tonight. Every time your heart pounds over a cold email, a missed call, a friend's one-word reply, your amygdala treats it exactly like a shape moving in the grass. It cannot tell the difference between social threat and physical threat. For most of human history, being cast out of the group really was a death sentence. Alone, you couldn't hunt. Alone, you couldn't share the watch at night. So rejection and danger got wired into the same alarm. The neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux mapped how a threat signal can reach the amygdala before it ever reaches the thinking parts of your brain. You feel afraid before you understand why. Your body reacts first. Your mind explains it after. Ever jumped at a shadow, then laughed half a second later? That gap is the whole story. That's the distance between the ancient alarm and the modern brain trying to catch up. Here's the twist. This system wasn't just built to react. It was built to keep reacting long after danger passes. The researcher Robert Sapolsky studied stress in wild baboons. A zebra fleeing a lion feels intense stress. Then the moment the chase ends, it switches off. The zebra is back to grazing within minutes. Humans don't do this. Sapolsky found that humans trigger the same stress response just by thinking about a threat. Replaying an old argument, rehearsing a conversation that hasn't happened yet, worrying about tomorrow while staring at the ceiling tonight. A zebra never lies awake worrying about next week's lion. You do. The very system that kept your ancestors alive, an alarm tuned to assume the worst and never fully switch off, is the same system that now tightens your chest before a meeting and turns a typo into a 3-hour spiral. It isn't a flaw in you. It's 40,000 generations of survival instinct, fully intact, running inside a world it was never built for. Your ancestors needed to spot the lion in the grass. You're spotting the lion in your inbox. So what do you do with this? You can't delete the alarm, and you wouldn't want to. It still pulls your hand off a hot stove. It still keeps you alert when something is genuinely wrong. But you can learn to notice when it's misfiring. Next time your heart races over something that, deep down, isn't a physical threat, ask yourself one question. Is this a lion, or is this burnt toast? Most of the time, it's the toast. That doesn't make the feeling vanish. But it changes how you hold it. You stop treating every spike of fear as proof something is wrong with you, and start recognizing it as an old, well-meaning system doing its best in a world it doesn't recognize. So tonight, when you're lying in bed, lights off, house quiet, and you hear that creak downstairs, notice what happens in your body. That jolt isn't really about the sound. It's a message from someone very old, very tired, still, after all this time, just trying to keep you alive.